Absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
usually off Monday.
So how does it
But
feel?
it's all good.
Welcome.
Then when we talk about
I
would
love
we
you
rather
guys.
have Friday or
Yeah.
Monday off, you're living the dream. 'Cause
I
we always
know.
say Monday.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the morning show. We're happy to have you
Yep.
on this Monday.
Good morning,
Sorry you
team.
have to work.
Oh, no,
The
it's
day you
all
normally
good.
have to have off. So first, we want to just say Happy Veterans Day. Special thank you to everybody, every man and woman who have served our country. We have a lot of messages coming in. You can continue sharing them. We're going to show them at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But just first wanted to start off by saying that. There are a lot of events locally, too, that we'll get to. In the 5 a.m. hour, we got the authentic responses to this story about who handles breakups better, men or women. And then we did it again at the 6 a.m. now that we've all thought about it sometime.
So the actual original study that we were talking about said that men are more likely to think highly of their exes. And they equate that with the fact that they have struggled with the breakups probably a little bit more than women. That then led to the question that we had, who handles breakups better, women or men? And they're saying that women actually handle it better because they just move on and they don't think of their ex.
But they are more likely to think badly of them if they do.
Yes, which helps them move on. I didn't say that very well.
Where
thank
like men care less about their ex.
I don't know. I think men and women handle breakups differently altogether. I think when women are done, they are done. I think guys, they tend to move on quicker than women. And then when they kind of come to their realization of maybe, of something that they did wrong, then they think, oh, maybe I want to talk to them. I want to reach out to them. But by that time, the woman, she's already done grieving or getting over her, emotions of what that relationship was. But we've been talking all morning, and I
Aisha
say,
feels strongly.
I do. I don't agree with either because I feel like I just don't know you exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I operate. So if you're an ex, you are like blind to me.
And it doesn't matter how the breakup happened or whether good, bad, anything like that. It just doesn't.
Or if it was just like an amicable split, you don't care? You don't care about him anymore?
No.
See, I feel like I'm not friends with my exes for the most part anymore. However, I could be. Because I feel like there was reasons why I dated you.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like it's always harder for the person that gets broken up with because the person that ends the relationship has likely been contemplating that decision for a hot minute. And so they're like more emotionally prepared versus being surprised.
One thing is, I don't really know how I feel about if I really want to be their friend. Sometimes I think I don't want to be.
Are you friends with any of your exes?
I'm not. But I look at it as not negatively. I try to think there was a lesson learned. I try to think to myself, what did that person, how did that person change me, and how can I, look at that for my next relationship, for myself, and I try to think of it like that. But we don't have to be friends for me to figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that,
being friends too can be a little
hairy.
Yeah. Because you said something good earlier in the show. What did you say? It opens up being too friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes your friendliness can be thought or seen as flirtiness.
Yeah.
And then if you're friends with that ex and they think you're flirting with them again and now maybe you're interested or they still have a chance. And
I've seen it happen a few times of where exes can be friends, but I do think it's in the minority of cases.
I want to know what you think, Ben. What do you do? Are you friends with your exes?
I would, listen, I think highly of all my exes. So similar to what you say, I wouldn't have dated you if I didn't think highly of you. I would be friends with any of them. None of them would be friends with me.
No. Well, I think typically that is because they literally can't be in your presence without having something more, and it just makes them too sad.
I hope that's the case.
That's funny.
That it's a positive like that. But yeah,
I think it's funny.
I think to Aisha's point, it's better just to probably keep things clean and
keep it in the past,
Yeah,
it probably
just
is.
walk past and don't say anything. Don't even know they walk past you.
Right?
Because even if you're coming from an innocent place, you don't know where they're coming from.
Right. You don't know.
And it's
the intention.
honestly, it can be selfish on your part. If you've moved on, you're like, oh, Ruby, you're my ex, but I want to be friends with you.
And that other person hasn't.
And you're being selfish because you want to feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
And not realizing that person is struggling and that person's grieving or that person,
I agree
maybe
with
that person just hates you and they can't stand you.
Yes.
Either way,
I think out of respect for that partner that you care about or cared about, you do have to handle the situation and how they're receiving it.
Yeah.
So if they just can't handle it, you can't shoot them a text even though you feel like it's just a check-in.
Even if it's innocent.
Just move on.
Now, you
I
said
agree.
earlier that you don't like the awkwardness. Like, if we see each other, please just say, hey, how are you?
I will go up, if I see an ex, I will go up and hug them and be like, hey, good to see
who
you.
does that, Ben?
Yes.
Wait,
I
time
hope
out.
I don't sound ridiculous, but I don't know who that man is.
Right.
He could be walking down the street and I wouldn't
I
know
don't
it.
have a
Sorry
problem with
to
it.
that man.
I don't have a problem with it, but
I would feel like that is like heartless. Like you
Wait,
engage-
no, it's petty.
like
Sorry to
see,
that man.
if you see each other and you're just like blind eye.
It's petty.
Like
I will say this.
Yeah.
If it's in a situation where it doesn't feel awkward, then hi, but keep it moving. We don't
Yeah.
have to sit
Or you
there
can
and
just
have a
give a
whole
little
conversation
smirk
about
and keep
life.
walking.
Yeah, just acknowledge and keep it moving.
I think as long as you acknowledge either with like a, even if you don't really
but it
like
depends
each
on
other.
what they did.
Well,
Sorry.
yes, if they cheated or something like that, like, see you
You don't
never.
deserve a high.
yeah.
don't even know
I
the
go
way.
back to what I said before. I would like to be friends. I understand that other people might not be in the place to do that. So at a minimum, if I bump into them in person, I'm going to say, hey, good to see you. Give you a hug. How's mom and dad? How's whatever? I would totally do that.
But
yeah.
Ben, let me say this. You just said that, your exes might not want to be friends with you.
Exactly.
So do you think if your ex saw you, would they say, hey?
That's why I won't push a friendship. However, you're not going to make me change who I am or how I interact with people. And I'm not going to be petty. And I'm not going to
So
act
you
like
think
you
I would
don't
be
exist.
petty?
Yes. I'm kidding.
Yes, I would.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry to that
Sorry.
man.
Yeah.
Chris thinks
No, I'm
that
kidding. I'm kidding.
Chris
Everybody handles it
thinks
differently.
that men handle it better because they move on. But I really do think.
I don't think that's.
No, I think when a woman
It's done.
she's
I
done.
agree with
Let's
you.
go to
I
your
agree with
poll.
you.
Didn't
I
you
agree
post
with
this
you.
on Twitter?
Yeah, I posted this
We
on
have the
Twitter.
results.
And yeah, it seems like it sort of goes along with what the study said, that women handle a breakup better than guys do.
Well, that's confusing.
Maybe
because
men
you're
handle
saying-
it at first better, like initially, because they can just, I feel like move on, go do whatever, and that's good, pat each other on the back. But then women, at first, they don't handle it well. But then, like I said,
Over
6 months
time.
down the road,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a woman, she's like, no.
I agree with that.
Mike doesn't think that you can be friends, especially when you're trying to move on to a new relationship. Well, which I will say,
Yeah.
there's-
It's too
even
messy.
having, best guy friends or best girlfriends, opposite sex, can
Yeah.
sometimes be difficult.
I just thought about something. What about when you are friends with, like, let's say you have an ex, but then y'all have so many mutual friends? Like, how do you work that when you're trying to move on or, trying to start something new?
I think you don't have to be friends anymore. However, when you're in the group setting again, you
Yeah.
handle it like Ben would.
You be cordial, be polite,
Not petty.
not petty.
Have mutual friends.
Aisha finds new friends.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's like, I'm just kidding.
Aisha joins the witness protection program.
She don't know you.
She joins the witness protection program and starts. Aisha's not actually her name even. She's taking that on to move on from.
Move on from all the exes.
That's
right.
so funny. That's funny.
That is funny.
Good talk.
What wasn't funny was the Panthers losing yesterday at Lambeau Field.
By inches.
I mean, okay, it wasn't snowing at first, and I thought, now I know that it was like low 30s, I think, and like I'm sure the feels like temps were even colder because it was pretty windy. But then it started snowing like halfway through, I think. I mean, by the fourth quarter, the field was white.
Yeah.
And we talked about last week, I put a poll that said, do you think that Luke Kuechly will wear sleeves or not? Because apparently he hasn't worn sleeves since like freshman year. And he did not wear sleeves yesterday. And actually a lot of our players didn't. Like Christian McCaffrey, he didn't. I could not imagine that. I mean, you're numb, right?
I mean,
Well,
I guess you get numb to it,
Yeah, because-
right?
Yeah,
If you're out
yeah.
there for a long period of time.
I remember running track. I ran track for 7 years.
Oh,
You guys are
I
twins.
did.
I
ran
didn't
track
even
for
know
7 years.
that.
And we ran in the cold, in the freezing
Yeah.
cold. And it's like you're cold at first, but once you're running and stuff, man, I would dip
But even
that
when they
stuff
went
so
to the
fast.
sideline and they were sitting on the bench, they didn't put a jacket on. Which, because I'm sure it would be like brutal to,
Yeah.
Try to acclimate
I think when your
again.
adrenaline is up and you're in the moment, it's
Yeah,
like you
it's
don't think
different.
about it that much. Especially, with this game. I won't say this game was on the line, but this was a, interesting, tough game. It was a competitive game, so maybe they weren't
Oh, the
thinking
game
about
was
it.
on the line at the end. I mean, we had the ball and we basically needed a TD
Yeah.
with the 2-point conversion, and we were down to the clock. I mean, it was like 4 seconds for our last play, and then we needed time still to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
But you could see there that was Christian McCaffrey with the last attempt. We were just praying that was a touchdown. Unfortunately, he was like inches shy.
They didn't want to see CMC out
But if you
there.
look at them, going back to the cold temperatures, a lot of them have gloves. Well, they all have gloves on, and then they, of course, have all the other gear. So when you think about it, like your elbow, like in your forearm, it's not as sensitive.
That's
you know?
right.
So like
Right.
it's your like extremities, like your hands and fingers, and they have
Yeah.
gloves on. So this isn't going to be quite as sensitive to the cold as say
Yeah, your
other
hands
parts of
and
your body,
feet,
like your head or your head. Yeah.
Right.
I would say, I'm pretty sure after that like first tackle, then they're probably, I feel like I would be good. Hit me one time and then I'm good to go.
Oh, that warm up, I would have to do some sprints or something.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
I don't know if we have the soundbite from the press conference of Kyle Allen, but he was really, showing. I think he's 23 or 24, maybe 24.
Yeah.
And so pretty young quarterback, and obviously done an exceptional job. But he was just saying, hey, it doesn't matter how young I am, how few games I've played. I know more experience will help me out, but this is part of it's on me.
Yeah. And that's what being a leader is. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to see someone, as new as he is and as young as he is, understand that and take on that responsibility.
And Cam did comment. He was like, "You're getting better and better, Lovey."
I love that.
They must be
Lovey.
like,
Yeah.
I know. I love to see the
I like
support.
that. Yeah, that's nice.
And I like that nickname.
Yeah.
I like that nickname too.
Yeah.
Lovey.
Okay, what else were we talking about here? The car seats. Thinking about the cold, we were talking about children dying in hot cars because this is a huge issue over the summer. And obviously, we've reported on it locally in the Carolinas 4 times this year of children dying, 52, I believe, across the country so far this year. Well, Italy, they just passed a law that's going to make it illegal to not have that device. You see that little white thing?
Yeah.
That's an alarm system that you put on your car seat. So parents with children that are 4 or younger will have to have this alert system starting on Thursday of this week, and they can either choose to get a visual and sound alert if they leave a child in the back seat, or their phone will automatically send an alert when they get far enough away from the alarm system, reminding them, did you grab your children?
I think it's sad that it's come to this, having an alarm in the car seat, but if this is what's going to decrease that number of kids being left in hot cars, then this is just the way to go. But again, I think it is sad that, we have to go, technology has to tell you that you left your child in the seat.
So we asked our poll question this morning on our app is, should car seats be required to have alarms in the U.S., since we're seeing that Italy is doing this? And 70% of our viewers think yes.
I like the idea. I really do. Anything to help bring that number down.
Yeah.
And, I was listening to an expert talk about just hot car deaths with children this morning when I was driving into work. And she made a good point. She was saying, the biggest thing for us in spreading awareness about this is having somebody realize you're not an exception to this.
Yeah.
It can
Like if
happen.
you've never done it before?
If you think, I would never forget my child.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It can happen to you. So that's the biggest thing, is to have somebody realize it can actually happen to you. And the second thing is she's saying, we all go into autopilot.
Yeah.
We do like the same things every morning.
Yep.
Ruby, I
Yeah.
get ready to your morning show, and I know when you start talking about sports, my hair needs to be curled and
Yeah.
it's time to go, do this. I'm like, I could easily miss something because I'm just doing the same thing every single day. And so they were saying that, it's just you're exhausted as a parent.
Correct.
You're
Sure.
stressed, and it can happen.
And as a non-parent, as myself, I keep my niece like once a week, and I usually have my weeks, planned out. I do the same things every week, but when I have her, I kind of like slow down because I don't want to forget something or do something that, that would harm her. So I get how things happen, especially when you're like, I'm by myself all the time, but when I have her, like I'm like zoned in.
But, we've talked about leaving, having a stuffed animal in the car seat. When you put your baby in the car seat, take that stuffed animal, put it in the passenger seat, or to put your wallet in the back seat, or your purse in the back seat.
Yeah.
So does it have to be an alarm system? I don't know.
I think probably so,
Yeah.
honestly.
Correct.
It does
Yeah.
need to be an
Alarm
alarm
for
system.
sure.
I mean, because, this is not a new problem. I mean, we've talked about it a lot over the last several years. And there's going to have to be some sort of device like this that the states will probably adopt, maybe not on a national level, but because it's far too common of a problem. Good people make this mistake.
Yeah.
And live the rest of their lives with this nightmare scenario. So it seems like a simple solution, like something like this, just makes sense.
Yeah. I know that in the U.S. there is an act that is in the subcommittee right now, but I believe that one would just put like a reminder in newer cars. You know how like my car says, "Don't forget your cell phone."
And you ignore that stuff.
And
So
you
that's-
ignore it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's going to be
No.
strong enough.
I know some of the ones that even I've done stories on are things that you actually can put in the seat and it's done by weight. So like anytime there's something of weight on top of it, that's how it like will know there's a child there. I think it's going to have to be something like that because anything that shows up on your dash, you're just going to ignore.
Yeah.
Because it's like anything else that pops up on your
My car
dashboard.
always tells me I need a little coffee break. You know, when I'm driving home. Yeah, my car, like when I'm driving home, I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. It's like an hour-and-a-half drive. And sometimes after work, when I go there, my car, it'll say, you need a coffee break, maybe take a little break. It'll say that.
You know, I didn't know you're from Greenville. I love Greenville. They have a beautiful state park.
What does your car know about you?
I know.
I hope not too much.
Hopefully not as much as the
They
government.
just need to get me to where I need to go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's it.
You're like, car, mind your business.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't even drink
what else are
coffee.
you
I would say if you're going to tell me I need coffee, find me a Dunkin'.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
You know?
let's go. Mike is saying he doesn't think that this is necessary, that he had 3 kids and he never left them in a hot car. Molly thinks it's a great idea. She feels like it can happen and people just get busy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she thinks it's brave on Italy's part to be ahead of this and
Yeah.
go ahead and pass something like this. So we will continue to keep you guys posted on if we hear anything about the U.S. making any big moves.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to show some of the messages that we have from our Wake Up Charlotte viewers. These are pictures of the veteran in their life. And you can continue to share yours all morning on our Facebook page. It looks like all of these are coming from our Facebook page, but I just want to say thank you. I just like get emotional even just like when I'm looking through pictures and messages because I really can't think of the words. They're so brave and it's such a sacrifice. I could never imagine doing that myself, and they are literally like serving our country and risking their life every day right now. So anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to say these are ways that you can sort of, in addition to thanking the veterans in your life, this is a good way that you can go and pay respects as well. In Gastonia and Stumptown.
The one in Gastonia is a parade.
And then the Veterans Park opening at UNC Charlotte, that's at 1 o'clock. And then also we should say for the veterans listening, there's some deals and freebies out
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Dunkin'
Olive
Donuts.
Garden, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks.
Bad
as well.
Daddies.
Oh, yeah, you
Bad
get a whole
Daddies.
burger.
You get an all-American burger.
Yeah, as a small token
Yes.
of our appreciation. So go get you some free stuff too.
Right?
And you're going to need a jacket when you do. If you go to that parade, you're going to need a jacket because
Yeah,
it's chilly.
you'll need the jacket this morning. By the afternoon, though, the weather's looking really nice for Veterans Day. Not bad at all. And again, thank you to everyone who has served. Look at those temperatures. Yeah, enjoy it.
It's even getting colder this
Things are
week.
going to change big time. So enjoy today, certainly.
One of
I'll
our
say this:
viewers
there's a 21
in the forecast.
in the forecast.
I can't
Basically, the temperatures that we saw, we didn't feel
But it's
ourselves what we
fall,
saw
Aisha.
in Green
It's
Bay.
not winter.
It is fall,
Headed this way.
but winter's like, I'm here.
I know.
You know,
Like
Daniel.
that ex of yours showing up.
I don't know who you are, okay?
Daniel, one of our loyal commenters, is a veteran. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks for watching.
That's right.
Hope you have a great day. Bye.